I'm In with the ARCC is brought to you by StoredTech, your technology, our passion. And now, here's your host for I'm In with the ARCC, Amanda Blanton.
Welcome to I'm In with the ARCC. Thanks for joining us today. I am your host, Amanda Blanton, Vice President, Marketing and Communications for the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce. And today my guest is Kat Major with Travelista Travels. Kat, welcome to the show.
Yay! Hi, Amanda.
Kat Major's in the house.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. Like, when we scheduled this very recently to this date, I was like, I'm so excited to interview Kat because I run into you at ARCC events all the time and we get to chit chat, but I don't know what you really do. I know you travel a lot, but like, what do you do?
Yeah, that's one very small part of my job.
Yeah.
So as a travel advisor, I do a little bit of everything. I'm a very intense planner. I'm a researcher. I'm a confidant to talk you off the cliff when things are stressful. Yeah. I'm there as your go-to backup when flights are delayed. I have so many roles, so many hats.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I love every bit of it.
You sound like a travel angel, actually, instead of an advisor.
I'm going to change that to my new title, Travel Angel.
That. I mean, I travel a lot. I have family all over. I do love to travel, when time and money allows. So I have horror stories, and I wish you were in my court because it would have been great to have someone to be like, Kat, this is happening, help me, because things can happen when you travel, right? Things unexpectedly happen.
Always happen when you travel.
It's so true, and I'm sure you have a lot of stories too. But we're going to stick to the positive stuff today.
Always.
Because what you do is incredible. I follow you on social media, and I so enjoy it because I get to see not only the amazing places you're going, but you also post a lot of resources and, including the benefits of working with a travel advisor, right? So I want to get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we do, I got to know how and why did you get into this line of work?
So it's actually a funny story. I kind of fell into it accidentally.
I love these kind of stories.
I know. I had been doing weddings up at the Sagamore for a couple of years.
Okay.
And I loved it. But the schedule was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 young kids. And it just wasn't making sense anymore.
Yeah.
So I went on Indeed. And I was like, okay, I can do something sales. I can do something hospitality. I can do something customer service. And I literally just fell into travel. I was like, oh, I travel a lot. This makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I applied, and I've been a travel agent ever since.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So you kind of just took some passions of yours. And being in the hospitality industry, I think this needs to be screamed from the mountaintops. There's so many skills involved, right? So many things that you pick up on.
There are so many moving parts. And in my career in the hospitality industry, I've done everything from front office supervising and housekeeping and sales and event management. So all those working parts were so necessary. And that kind of set me up for the basis of being a travel advisor.
Yeah.
Needing to know all those moving parts and how pieces work together and everything like that.
Absolutely. So important and can transcend across multiple industries.
Yes.
But I think you made a good choice
I
becoming a
did.
travel
I'm very, very
advisor.
happy. This is definitely where I will live and die.
I love it. That's so great. So I noticed, and we had this conversation before we started, there's there's 2 terms, right? Travel advisor, travel agent.
Yes.
Now, is there a difference?
There is and there isn't.
Okay.
So ASTA, which is the American Society of Travel Advisors, kind of the governing body, the industry head of all travel advisors. We used to be travel agents.
Okay.
And then about 30 years ago, there was a switch to travel advisors. And that is because as a travel advisor, we don't just take an order. We're not just saying, okay, Amanda, you want to go to this ship on this date, in this cabin, and see these ports, and just book it for you.
Yeah.
We have more of a conversation.
Yeah.
It's more of an advisory role where you say, I want to go on a cruise. And we talk about different destinations, different times of year, how that price affects you, what flights you need to take, what excursions you want to do. If you want to see whales, you're not going to go to Egypt.
Right. It seems obvious, but
I have had that question before.
I'm sure. Yes. Yep. People who aren't familiar with geography, right?
Right. And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And, the everyday person doesn't do this on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
I have done intensive training with multiple tourism boards cruise lines, tour guide operators, resorts, and everything like that, so that when you have those questions, I have those answers.
I love it. I'm sure your contact list and your resource list is a mile long. Yeah, I was going to say. But that's great.
It is.
There's a lot of value to that. And I remember you did post a couple of things on social media about how important it is to work with a travel advisor, because there are a lot of us out there who love DIY, right? We're like, I can do it. I can do it.
It seems easier. Yep. Yeah. It seems less expensive. But the difference is most travel advisors don't charge a planning fee.
Okay.
Some do, but at this point in my career, I don't. I think it's important for the traveler to kind of keep that money in their pocket and spend it the way they want to.
Sure. Okay.
So what happens is I get paid through those hotels, through the cruise lines, and it doesn't make a difference in your price.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a huge thing to know. People think working with a travel advisor is going to be very expensive. It's not.
Okay.
And what's nice is I also get you extra perks.
Yes.
Whether it's an upgrade or early check-ins, late checkouts, extra resort credits or onboard credits.
Yeah.
Those are all things that I'm able to offer.
Absolutely.
That you might not be able to find online.
Sure. And also, I think the time that you're saving your clients, right? Because yes, we can all get on the internet and get on all those websites that compare prices of things, but you're still using time for that, right?
Right, exactly.
And shame on you if you're doing that at work too, by the way. We all know that person who's
I used to.
Yeah. It's like I'm booking my vacation while I'm at work. But you do all that heavy lifting for your clients.
So I do everything from the initial research of destinations, suppliers, etc. And then we have that conversation to say, okay, here's what I've prepared for you.
Yep.
What works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Is this not the right fit? Is this not the right price? And then we rework it so that it's always the right vacation for you.
Absolutely.
Or for whoever I'm working with.
Sure.
And then from there, I manage that booking. So if you come to me and you say, Kat, we need to change our dates, or you know what, this friend of mine is no longer my friend and we're going to switch her out.
Oh, yep.
It's been there, it's happened. I'm there to handle all of that for you. So you're not on the phone waiting for 2 hours to get through to someone who doesn't know you from a hole in a wall.
Right.
I'm going to be there to handle all that for you. I sit on the line for you. I make those changes. And that way I can advise you from a real standpoint of knowing how these different suppliers work and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And then from there, about a month prior, I send out these gorgeous final documents. So you have everything in one place. You have your flights, you have destination information, you have transfers, you have whatever vacation you've decided on. So whether it's a resort or a cruise, and et cetera. And then you have my contact information. I've had clients call me at 4 a.m. in Amsterdam and be like, listen, we missed our flight.
Yeah. What do we do?
And they call me and I'm there on the phone with them at 4 a.m. to walk them through that and make sure they get on the next available flight.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Because like you said, things happen,
They
right?
do.
Especially if you're traveling internationally or you've got a long travel itinerary, statistically, something might happen. And
something always does.
Yeah, and you're there for them, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, so I'll speak from a little bit of experience on, so I can tell people why I should have worked with a travel advisor, right, on this specific trip. But I took a trip to Tahiti. I was not smart about it. I had spreadsheets that I was trying to manage myself. Wouldn't you know it, totally missed a few things. And, I had flights from here to the West Coast, then to Tahiti, and there was all these things, these puddle jumper planes, these boats that, where you get on. And
the little ferries and everything.
The ferries, yes, thank you. And it was maddening to the point where I don't know if I enjoyed my vacation.
Right, exactly. It's so much stress trying to plan all that. And I take on that burden for my clients, which is fantastic for them because
Absolutely.
Everything is set, ready to go, and they just have to pack their luggage and get on their flight or their cruise. And everything is handled from there on out. I even handle like dining reservations.
Oh, my goodness.
Like if you want to, do a Polynesian dance class, I'll set that up for you. So everything's taken care of.
You're probably even aware of excursions that maybe we're not aware of,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because unless you do some serious digging or again, spend all that time researching, you're already in the know.
Right. And if you've gone to Tahiti, I know that for the next client going to Tahiti, what works, what doesn't work.
That's right.
Yep.
It's all about those experiences. They're sharing their feedback with you, and you're putting that in your brain and filing it away and being like, okay, note to self, that ferry's no good or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And equally, like I'll get emails or calls from my supplier contacts who I have relationships with, and they'll say, hey, Kat, this destination or this hotel isn't doing as well anymore. Like I would recommend this instead. Or we're going to have a huge sale in November.
Yep.
Please let your clients know so they can prepare.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, you got all the little secrets and everything.
I know.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So can we talk a little bit about the actual destinations and things that you book? Is anything off limits, or is this international? Is this worldwide?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's worldwide, with the exception right now of the Middle East for a couple different reasons.
Sure.
And then I don't do a ton of South America. I do some, but not the whole continent.
Okay, that's fair.
Other than that, I do tons of Caribbean. I do lots of French Polynesia and Oceania.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the Far East, so Japan, China, Thailand, the whole Far East.
Yeah.
And my bread and butter is kind of Europe. I love Europe. I would live in Europe.
If you could, yeah.
Yes. That's a good point. If I could.
A lot of people talk about the food and the culture.
Exactly.
And yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I handle pretty much every destination with the exception of Middle East and South America.
Okay, that's fair. I got to ask, I have to ask about the big D, Disney.
Ooh, that's a great question.
I'm not interested personally. I'm good, but a lot of people love Disney. I know there's a lot of opportunities to work with people like yourself, but is that something that Travelista focuses on?
Yeah, so Travelista does offer Disney vacations.
Okay.
It is more intensive than a regular vacation.
Girl, I know.
Because,
I've read about it.
Not only do you have to get the accommodations and get the park tickets, but then you have to learn about the different parks, learn about the different rides, the different dining plans, and then there's a whole app that you have to figure out. Ooh. So I actually take an extra 2 hours to sit down with my clients in separate sessions.
Yeah.
To explain to them how everything works.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. There's lightning lanes and, individual lightning lanes. And there's so much to go over.
There's a lot.
That it's very intensive.
Okay.
I primarily do it for multi-gen families. Because that's been a big thing lately, is grandparents wanting to take their kids and their grandkids on a family vacation.
Okay.
I also usually tell them that they can do a different family vacation for less to the Caribbean or to Europe. And it's going to have an equally great impact.
Sure.
But Disney vacations do have a special spot in my heart.
Yeah.
I went for the first time about 10 years ago, and I just fell in love with it. So I go fairly regularly. I go at least once a year to kind of stay up on all the parks and the different, requirements.
Yeah.
Is there a dining plan? Isn't there a dining plan?
Okay.
So
you know your Disney stuff.
Yep.
I
Love
like
the mouse.
it. I had to ask, because it's everyone's talking about it all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, you know what? I think it's time for us to take a quick trip to Disney.
Oh, I love Disney. Let's go to Epcot.
Okay, cool.
All right. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back on I'm In with the ARCC.
And now, back to I'm In with the ARCC. Here's your host, Amanda Blanton.
And we're back. Wow, that was a great trip.
Oh my God, I loved Epcot. I loved all the drinks around the world.
It was the best.
You know what? I really loved Morocco. That was fun.
It was. Oh my God. Same. And I'm so glad we got to see the big mouse.
I know.
I got to give him a hug, which was really cool.
I liked posing with Daisy. That was fun.
Absolutely. Well, anyways, we're back here on I'm In with the ARCC. That was fun. Thanks again for being on the show. I knew this was going to be a fun interview. So let's talk a bit about your travels.
Yeah.
Because in order to work with your clients successfully, you got to do some traveling yourself.
That is very true.
And you said you just got back from a few trips.
Yes.
So tell us about where your recent travels have been.
Yeah, of course. So as you know, Amanda, I usually do about one trip a month.
Yeah.
Which is ambitious.
It's very ambitious.
And
I love
unfortunately, I was super overly ambitious. I just recently got back from Mexico for four nights. Ooh. Then I did a cruise for 7 nights.
Oh my God.
And then I did a conference for another 4 nights.
Ooh.
So I was gone for almost 3 weeks straight. I might never, ever do that again. I'm happy to be home. But yeah, that's one of the great things about my job is that I have to investigate and experience these destinations on behalf of my clients.
Yeah.
So I know recently we kind of talked about I was in Morocco in June, which was never on my bucket list, but wow, what a country.
Did a lot of that trip surprise you?
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was all desert. I thought it was all very ancient and old and not modern, but the cities surprised me. Some were very, very modern.
Yeah.
And so clean. Others were definitely that ancient kind of Medina, Aladdin vibe, which was really cool. But they were all so friendly too, which I had no idea what Moroccans would be like going into it. And that's one important thing about my job is I get to tell you how it is in that destination with real life experience.
Absolutely. What the culture's like, are there some interesting things where businesses close down for a couple of hours afternoon? I know some cultures do that.
Yeah, so that was one thing that happened. I went to the Medina in Fez to go shopping.
Yeah.
I went at like 7 o'clock and everything was closed by 8.
Right.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, well, in Muslim culture, they observe their holy day and everything closes down so people can go to church.
Yeah. And now you know.
Now I know. My shopping trip was cut short for that. But
that makes me a little sad for you, Kat, but you made up for it,
I
sure.
definitely did.
Yeah. So in all your travels over the years,
Australia.
Okay, you already know what I was going to ask. Australia by far.
Australia by far.
How much time did you get to spend there?
We spent a week in Australia.
Okay.
With the travel days, it ended up being 10 days in total.
Yeah, because that's quite a travel.
It is.
Yeah.
But man, what a phenomenal country.
It's so cool.
We went to South Australia and stayed in Adelaide and then flew over to Kangaroo Island.
Ooh.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
It was the most insane, phenomenal part of traveling. Being able to see sea lions and seals and kangaroo and koala like up
all
close
together
in the wildlife was just insane.
That's so cool.
By far, that's been my favorite travel destination.
You didn't even let me finish the question.
No,
You were already
I knew
like,
it.
Australia.
Yep.
How about a second favorite?
Italy.
Okay.
Italy and Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that one trip together?
No.
Or, no.
Separate
So
ones.
separate. Okay. Okay.
Italy feels like home to me. The people, the food, the simplicity. There's something just so peaceful and beautiful about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Scotland actually feels a lot like here.
Okay.
But with this extra kind of magic quality to it. This ancient, old feel to it.
Yes.
And it's so magical there.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Girl, you're making me jealous.
I know. I'm sorry. You know what? Let's book you on a trip, Amanda.
I know. I mean, we just got back from Disney, but I guess I could go somewhere again. So this question might have an obvious answer, but what is the best part of your job?
So a lot of people would think it's the travel.
Yes, I would think that.
That is a great part of it.
Sure.
It's equally exhausting and time consuming. My favorite part about my job is when a client reaches out to me in destination, sending me a picture and saying, wow, I can't believe how amazing this is. Thank you so much for working with us on this.
That's awesome.
Because getting that real-time feedback is huge.
Yeah.
To take time out of your day to say thank you means everything.
I love that.
Yeah. So for me, that's the best part is them getting to see a new part of the world, a new experience.
Yeah.
With loved ones. And for me, that's the most fulfilling part of my job.
Absolutely, because it keeps you going because, not every day is a good day, right? And you're doing a lot of research. You're doing so much work.
Yep, lots of calls.
But when you hear that someone's having the time of their life, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was actually on the Travelista website right before I came in, and there's some great testimonials on there. And, you can tell they're real from real people because you can feel the excitement in their responses. It's so cool. So cool. So some of us may be jealous of what you do, right? but this line of work is not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I know Travelista may not necessarily be looking for more people, but somebody might be interested in the line of work.
Definitely.
What would you kind of recommend to them?
So there are lots of things to know about the job. I think the big one is it's not a free vacation kind of job.
That's important to
yes, yeah, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll get into the industry, do this a little bit part-time and get free Disney vacations or free cruises. And sometimes that's a perk, but for the most part, it is a ton of work. Mm-hmm. I work every day.
Yeah.
At least 10 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And like I said, if my client calls at 4 a.m., I have to answer the phone.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a permanent on-call business. I can't take a real vacation. So when I was in Mexico, when I was on the cruise, yes, those were personal vacations, but I was working the whole time as well.
Right. So that's fair. Yeah, totally.
So there's a lot of freedom and flexibility to it. There are a lot of perks, but it's a very intensive job. You have to be planning timelines, staying updated on current information and what's going on in the world, and also selling travel. And there's definitely a sales and networking piece to it. You can't just sit around and wait for the call. You have to go out there and really talk to people.
Absolutely.
Which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're so welcome. And you're doing a bang up job too, like getting out to events and stuff and just really getting your face and your name out there. So you're doing great. All right. So last but not least, I want to talk about some of these amazing trips that Travelista is putting together in the future, because like the chamber, you're already looking into 2027, right?
Oh, for sure.
What do we got coming up?
So actually for right now, clients who are reaching out to me, we're past Christmas time. We're past the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
We are looking into winter and spring break of 2027.
Okay.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And right now I'm also promoting a Christmas market river cruise with AMA Waterways that goes from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam, Netherlands. And we stop at all the Christmas markets along the way.
Oh, my God. So for all of the shopaholics, this is the trip for you.
Yep, exactly. If you like Christmas movies, if you love the decorations and gingerbread making and tree decorating, this is definitely the opportunity for you.
Oh, it sounds so fun.
Yeah.
What are some of the other ones that you've planned in the past like that?
So I've done in the past some group travel. We've done a lot of like river group cruises and stuff like that.
I heard those are really popular.
They are. Yeah. It's one of the largest growing segments in the travel industry is river cruise, because it's only 150 people tops.
Okay.
So you're
whereas
not
like a cruise
is up to 6,000.
Oh God!
So rather than competing with people for buffets and restaurants and pool space, this is such a small. It's a much smaller, relaxed kind of experience.
I like that. I like that. Very cool.
Yeah. But I try to choose a different destination every year for a group trip.
Okay.
So if people are interested in a certain destination, if everyone's excited about Costa Rica, then we'll do a group trip to Costa Rica.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That's so cool. And are you a part of that planning process?
I do the entire planning process.
The whole thing. Woo.
Yeah.
That's a big job.
It is. But what's nice is like we get people booked and then we customize it for each person.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to the Matterhorn in Switzerland before, we'll arrange that. If you want to go to Paris after you're in Amsterdam, we'll make that happen.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not cookie cutter, even though it's a group.
Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. And you take care of like travel to and from the airport, all of those things.
Yeah. So I handle everything from flights, rail, rental cars, hotels, resorts, cruises. I think I said flights, transfers, excursions, the whole 9 yards.
Whew, I already feel better, and I'm not even booking yet. But when I do one day, I'm going to know Kat's got it all taken care of.
That's the goal. Make it stress-free and easy.
Absolutely. So before we end the show, you got to let us know how to get in touch with you, because you're already planning into 2027, which is wonderful. We should all be planning into 2027 for our vacations. People, take your PTO. Do it. But yeah, how can we get in touch with you?
So most of my clients get in touch with me via my cell, which is 440-591-2287. Or clients can reach me via my social medias. Both Instagram and Facebook are Cat in the Wild Travel. And then, of course, I have my email address, kmajor@travelistatravels.com.
Wonderful. I hope you get a ton of inquiries. I am excited to work with you in the future when I get my ducks in a row,
I'm just excited to help people see the world. That's what it really boils down to.
That's it.
Because it's such a beautiful place.
It really is. There's so much to see on planet Earth, and you've done all the research. You've got all the tools, all the resources. Yep. So you're going to make it as easy as possible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure really getting down and learning what you do. And I can tell your eyes light up every time you talk about it. So I know that you're very passionate about working with your clients on just planning these trips of their dreams. So keep it up.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate the time.
You're so welcome. And that's all the time we have for today on I'm In with the ARCC. Be sure to tune in next week.